When I came to Denmark, I couldn't speak English at all. While I was in the classes, I was recording, and then I was going home and I was translating everything from English to Portuguese and then writing it out. Every day that I used to listen to, podcasts about how to start a business. And then at my 22, I was wondering, like, how come nobody is selling pastel de nata in Copenhagen? For sure, it's a hit because everybody was asking me, like, Cristiano Ronaldo and pastel de nata.
Hi, this is Before Lights Go On, uncovering stories before success. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. It means a lot, and it's helping an entrepreneur help his community. Thank you for watching, and I will leave you to watch the whole episode. Who was Mariana before this startup adventure?
Oh, that's a tough question. Actually, I think I changed so much since I started this journey. When I came to Denmark, I couldn't speak English at all. So it was also a process of learning English and then try to communicate and developing on the things that I like in the business side of it. It was a whole new world for me from Portugal here that I didn't have these friends that are on the same environment that I am. So it is a whole new thing.
You came here, but you didn't know English, right?
No, at all.
How did you manage to get to learn it, or how you were learning?
It was a tough process. So I came to do my bachelor's, and while I was in the classes, I was recording, and then I was going home and I was translating everything from the Google Translator to
Oh my God.
like from English to Portuguese and then writing it out. Yeah, it was a tough process, and doing the exams as well in the room. Group work, presentations was terrifying. But then COVID came. And in those first years, like the first year and the second, I developed my English very well. And I was lucky enough to have good friends that they were always pushing.
And then what was next?
And then I always liked investments. I always liked business, and I didn't know how to start. But since I came to Denmark, every day that I used to listen to podcasts about how to start a business or how to invest your money, how to do this, how to do that. And then at my 22, I started thinking about starting a business, and then how Natuga grew is when I met another Portuguese guy, and we decided to give it a shot.
This business that you started, because might be people that don't know, it's a
Portuguese. Yeah, it's a Portuguese cake, and they were nominated the best cakes in the world for 3 years in a row.
Oh.
And when I came, there was nobody selling them. And I was wondering, like, how come nobody is selling pastel de nata in Copenhagen? For sure, it's a hit because everybody was asking me, like, Cristiano Ronaldo and pastel de nata. There was two questions that come all together. I was like, okay, I have to do something about this. Yeah, we just did it. We started with trying to make them. I never cooked in my life. I don't really like to cook. But I saw just this market gap.
But no experience at all in business? Or
No. I mean, I was studying business. I studied international sales and marketing management. That was my bachelor. And then my master's were more specified in business. But until then, no, I never had any experience with business. I just had the idea. But somehow it always felt very natural. It was never too much force, I think.
did your bachelor or master help you when you started a business, or you had to learn everything was by yourself?
It helped me a lot. I understood business way better than I did before. And I was studying marketing as well. I started seeing things as a different way. We all know, right? It's like a curse. After you know marketing, you can't unsee it. You just see it every day, everywhere, every ad, everything that you go on the streets. And for me, it started like on little steps like that. And yeah, for surely it helped me a lot. But also the content that I was consuming helped me a lot.
Surrounded yourself with great ideas, great people.
Yeah. I mean, in my class, there was not so much people that were into that. Actually, a lot of people were doubting the course and nobody liked it very much. But the content that I was watching helped me to actually making it. So I had the understanding, but taking the step and actually making it, it was a lot about what I was watching and listening and podcasts and all that. I never had one specific person that I was following the whole way. And some of them that I like very much, but there was never just one person that I was following. It was always a compilation of.
I saw that you have a quite international experience, right? What was this journey all about?
Self-development, honestly. It was all about self-development. I really wanted to know another cultures and other people, languages, how they act, how they go into business. My first experience with international, it was in Dubai. I stood there 3 months, and it was a whole experience. They had so much nationalities and so much people into business as well. Mexico was also a huge step for me to understand that I was actually good at what I was doing. I went doing my internship, and I was doing like a business plan from Mexico to United States, so they could the internationalization process, and it was actually successful. And then I understood that I was like, okay, I like this, and I'm good at this, you know. So I got great feedback from the people that I was working with. They wanted to offer me a place to work there, and I wanted to come back to finish my studies and to finish everything. But it was a huge realization for me to understand, like, okay, I can do this.
Why this burning desire to business? Why did you want to go into business in the first place?
I just started liking it so much. Maybe it came from making money, you know, the desire of making money and not being average somehow. And I don't know, I just went, it's like a rabbit hole, right? You get into this world, and then you just go deeper and deeper and deeper, and then you find something else and you meet someone else. And then you either are so obsessed about something that you like it so much in order for it to happen, or if you go just halfway, you don't do it,
Yeah.
right? So I just went all the way, and I'm keep going all the way.
When this desire started?
Maybe when I was 17, 18, but then I didn't do much about it.
What was that? What was that moment?
In my high school, yeah, I don't know when it started. Okay, well, I know. I wanted, I always wanted to retire my parents, and that's the goal. That's the whole goal, and I'm just finding my way to do that. That's my purpose, and that's my thing. And if today, imagine that I make 1 million, and if they would have to tell me that I give it all to my family, I would give it all to my family, and I was money again all over. So yeah, that's my motivation to do so. When did it started? I don't know. Suddenly, I just knew that I had it to have to do more for them. You know, they gave so much. I'm here because of them. Otherwise, I wouldn't be. So, and they have a great life. But I just want to, you know, thank them somehow. I don't. It's my dream.
You met this person, talk about, hey, let's start this bakery project. And how did that evolve?
Was not so easy, and it was a very confusing process because I didn't know where to start. I didn't know where to talk to whom to talk to. I don't know. I didn't know the process, right? I was just figuring out on the way. So I was just calling random numbers. I called my university and I said, "Hey, I have a business. What can I do?" And they're like, "Well, I don't know. Maybe call Business Hub." I'm like, "Okay." Then I called Business Hub and I was like, "I have this idea of doing some pastry. In what can I do?" They're like, "Okay, so now you have to have this hygiene form, and you need to go through this process for them to go to your place and verify if you have everything okay." It's like, okay, first step, it's done. So I made a list of things that I have to straight and have to have done, and then I just start to doing it. I was lucky enough to be in a dorm that we have a professional kitchen. That process of having the hygiene thing
So you started the business at your dorm?
at my dorm.
Oh,
Yes.
wow.
Yes, I started at my dorm. We were 50 people all over. And yeah, as I said, I was also very lucky because the landlord let me use the professional kitchen that they had so we could experiment and do our stuff. So most of the money that we started with, we invested on brewing pastry all over because at the end, at the beginning, I didn't know how to do it, right? So we just make so many that they were catastrophic.
And then you baked them, and you said that you were in Fusee.
Yeah.
And then you commute to Copenhagen to sell them.
Yes. Yeah, I had to put it in a thermal box. This was the very first stage where you have to have the validation, right? So we were taking them to Copenhagen and just selling them at Houthuisplatsen or Gamelstan, and we were just, I have pastries nata, you want one? And what would you pay for it? So we were trying to understand how much people
Test the price.
Yeah, testing the price, testing if how people like it, if they ever heard about it. So the test was it was hard because it is a bit frustrating at the beginning that you, of course, people don't gonna buy something from you because you are, who are you? You're nobody just trying to sell something on the street, right? So it's hard.
What was the main struggle when you wanted to start this?
Figuring out the process, how to do it, because you never know at all, right? So you learn and you with your mistakes on the way. And I didn't have any expensive mistake, but it could have happened, right? So I was very careful with every step that I was taking, and that takes a lot of time as well for you to get so well informed about everything that you get to that paralysis. So I was trying not to get on those paralysis, but it's so easy to get stuck there. And yeah, that maybe was the biggest struggle, to always take the next step. There's always another step, and you have to take it. So
If you think about success when you started your journey in high school and you wanted to go into business, maybe you had already a definition of success, maybe, retiring my parents. Did that change over the years?
the main goal, no, that's going to be always the goal. I mean, is the ride or die for me. But my mentality changed a lot
Mm.
along the way. A lot, a lot, a lot. And I hope it keeps like that, and I will change my perspective.
What exactly changed?
The perspective about money and business in itself. Like how companies, what are we for a company, perhaps? We were talking. The value that we have for a company. And when I understood that we are just a number, doesn't matter where you are, right? Like mainly on these corporations, and that people give their life for it. Yeah, with time I started to understand how well this business work, that it was, a well structured company and a big company. It was it was someone who had so much desire as you did, but they actually made it. And when I think about it, I get angry about myself. If I'm working for someone else, I always think that could be me too. Like,
Yeah.
why am I working for someone else that just took the same risk?
What about failure? Have you failed? How bad? And how did you manage to go through it?
I think I did, but I have a selective memory, very much, very much. A lot of the things that are a bit that can trigger a bit more the motivation for me, I tend to erase it very fast. So if I have a failure that was not that big, I forget about it instantly, and I don't really care about it. Like, of course, I had a lot of rejections. Maybe people that didn't want to sell the pastries on their place, that people that said that it was too expensive, people that didn't like them, whatever. But I'm very selective when I think about it. I make a list of things that I can improve, and all of those that I filter, and I don't think about it anymore.
And if you look back before the present moment, was any particular experience that shaped your mindset around failure? This selectiveness you learned somewhere, or how this disappear?
I always did sports, so maybe that helped a lot as well. And my teammates, and these are small things that come with life, right? And you either learn with your life or you don't. And if we all always take these small pieces from small anchors that you have in your life, that just shapes your mentality and your perspective about things. I learned, I think, since very young age that you shouldn't overthink about things, that you can do nothing about it. And then that shaped for this mentality of failure too. Failure is part of the journey, and it's nice that you fail. It's okay to fail. That's not a bad thing at all.
And now the next, so you started this adventure with a bakery, and then from my understanding, you already have another startup for about 6 months ago, right?
Yes.
What is this all about?
It's called Fusee, and it is a matchmaking app for corporations. So what we try to do is, when you go to for a company and you are hired for that position and that position only. So if you go for sales, you are a salesperson, and if you're logistics, you're a logistics person. But what if you are in logistics and you are good at, I don't know, web developing? They will never know that, right? So we created a platform where you can put your skills. So the HR can see all your skills. And then you and your colleagues, you can put on your profile what you want to learn and what you can teach. And then the platform will match you. So you can learn and
Inside the
teach
company.
inside of the company. Yeah, we have intra and then we have external as well. But it is an app that matches skills with each other. So you can learn something, you can teach me something, the app match you, and then you can have a one-on-one session. And this is meant to actually build a team and to people to know each other, to value people in a different way, because you are hired for that and then people don't know the other skills that you have, and maybe you are so good at something else that they will never discover it because you never said it, or there was not opportunity for you to show that, right? So we wanted to bring this culture to people, to bond, to know about each other, and recognition.
Why this?
I always like networking a lot. And of course, this is one of those projects that is always developing, right? You start with something, but then you think about another thing and another thing, and then things start developing in different ways. And at the beginning, it started because I love networking, but for me, the small chats, I don't like small chat. Or I love to go to networking events, but if you have 100 people, how you are going to talk with 100 people? It's nicer to know straight away who is in the same field as I am, what they know that I don't know. Maybe if I had an app, let's see, okay, Andre is here and he's good at sales. Well, maybe I want to learn more about sales and what you do, you know? So I could go straight to you. That's how it started. And then I started to think about 101 to be B2C and then maybe B2B. That's when the money is, right? So this started in Ghent, in my university, Ghent University, when I was studying there, engineering. So we started with this entrepreneurship course and we were 6 girls. And our teacher told, okay, at the end of this course, you have to come up with a business idea and then you're going to present it to everyone. And one of the ideas that won in our group, it was to make a wardrobe. So our final project was presenting a wardrobe for the juries. But then when I had this thing in me that I really liked this idea of the network and I had this idea for so long. So I just worked on it the day before the presentation. The whole night I just make a presentation for them and I was like, nah, I can, it is not suiting with me that we are 6 girls talking about wardrobe to a full crowd, you know? So I don't know. I just wanted something. I knew that it was something else. So I made this project. I presented to them when I arrived and I said, girls, I'm sorry, but I just want you to listen to this idea. And if you don't like it, it's all right. And I presented the idea and nobody saw much potential in it. So everyone voted to keep the wardrobe idea for the final.
From the team.
Yeah, the team, they all voted to keep the wardrobe. And I just asked to have an opinion about our entrepreneurship teacher. So I just called the entrepreneurship teacher and he listened to the idea and he said it was like $1 million idea. And he kind of convinced the others. And then after others listened to it, they're like, okay, let's go with that. And we did. And we won the best idea of Ghent 2025.
And then you took that project and then
Yes.
try to materialize.
Yeah. And then one of my teammates, she wanted to join and keep the project. So we got another co-founder and then we were 3. And my 4th co-founder, I met at Tech Barbecue, actually. Yeah. Super nice. And now we are 4 working on the project.
What is the most exciting part when starting a business?
The potential that it has. I mean, when you start something, you believe that it goes somewhere, right? At the very bottom. And it's so exciting, the whole process of, at least for me, I like the whole small steps. And this part that is maybe the most hard for so many people. And I enjoy it so much that you are just defining everything from scratch, from the bottom. You design it as you want. It is as you want it to be, as you want it to look like. And it is yours. It's your project. It's your thing.
What happened when it doesn't work as you want?
I'll figure it out, I think. So far, I can't complain. Again, of course, something went wrong, and I didn't just erasing it from my mind over and over again. But to find a CTO that is our developer was so hard to find, and that was a big constraint because we just started half a year, but for 1 year we were stopped. It was a paralysis because we didn't have anyone to help us developing the MVP.
Yeah.
And when I met our co-founder, Milo at Tech Barbecue, I told to my co-founders, like, we have to take him for sure. Like, this is it. And he said yes. And then we are starting now to develop the product. But until then, we were like, what now? Like, what if we can't find anyone? And it was very harsh.
What do you think it's top 3 skills that an entrepreneur has to have in order to be successful?
Tough question. Of course, resilience is one of them. You have to know and you have to be okay with sleeping and being concerned at the same time, right? So for me, being an entrepreneur is just organized anxiety. I don't suffer with anxiety, so that's a plus. But it is actually organized anxiety because you have this anxiety inside of you, but it's just organized. You know that you have people counting on you. You have stuff that can't go wrong if you start growing. If it goes wrong, everything goes wrong. The people that trust you, the people that see you, the people that you inspire, the thing. And then these small things start to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And then instead of you seeing your own failure, then you have 300 people seeing you fall. So that's a lot of pressure. And if you can't deal with that pressure, that can be a problem. You have to know how to deal with that. So I would say, deal with pressure, resilience, like persistence, and being always on to. You said that you're doing it, you have to do it. So commitment, finish what you started.
What would be an advice you will give yourself if you had to look back along all these years?
Start earlier. Start earlier. Everything that you're going to do, you're going to understand that you could have done it earlier. And I think that's That's something that I have to heal in me because I'm going to get older, and I know that nowadays I should have doing something that I'm going to regret that I'm not doing. But I overthinking it so much. I mean, I enjoy the present and I know that I'm already doing it, but then I'm always overthinking what I could have done or do sooner, and I could have started sooner. Maybe small things like even investments. I wanted to know so much about it to make it perfect, then I delayed it, but I could have started earlier. So not being so afraid of, especially on this age. This is the age to risk it. Is the age to waste your money to try it all.
Fail, learn
Yeah,
from.
to fail. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's okay to fail. That's what I'm saying. It's that quote that if you knew that you were 30 fails away from your goal, how fast you want to fail, right?
Yeah. What is the future? What do you think would be the next priority for you in the next 2 to 3 years?
Develop Fusee is one of my biggest goals. I am trying not to disappoint myself. That's one of the goals. If I really want to have these things done, and I don't want to feel disappointed with myself in the future.
What would be a result that will disappoint you?
If I don't, let's say with Fusee, if I don't reach the goals that I want in 2 years, 3 years, I'll get disappointed with myself. But I'm trying to heal it too, because it's okay. It's okay to fail. But for sure I will be disappointed because it's a goal. So I just don't want to disappoint myself. As long as I don't quit. I really don't want to quit. And I don't want to come anything in my life to let me quit. But that's a everyday work, right? You work every day so you can have the motivation for tomorrow. You will actually grow that motivation in you. It's
Mm.
not something that you wake up, oh, I really want to do this. Right? Like you really have to keep burning. You have to put ashes on the fire.
And lastly, in one sentence, who was Mariana before the lights go on? Who is her?
Before,
Yeah.
I don't know. I was just a dreamer, and now I'm a doer. Yeah. I was, yeah. Before I wanted to do so much things, and now I'm doing so much things that it's it's nice. So yeah, I was more a thinker, and now I'm a doer.